Hey guys, welcome to the video, and here today this is a tutorial on how to install the GTA V KMZ Ultra mods. This is going to be the last tutorial I do for these mods. I think I've done one or two before, but they were a while back. It was on my older PC with my crappy microphone and everything, so I kind of had to do an updated video. But since I'm not going to update the mods beyond 3.5 or possibly 3.5b, then this will be the last tutorial. This is kind of noob friendly, so it's going to extend a little bit. Make sure you sit back, relax, grab some snacks, and follow along, because as I go through this, I will randomly be giving you some tips, some hints, some do's, some don'ts, and things like that, so that your experience can be the best it possibly can, and so that your install goes smoothly. If you want everything to work right, I suggest you just pay close attention and follow along and do the stuff that I do. And then if you want to later on delete this stuff, I'm going to make a separate video on how to get rid of everything, and when I do that, I'll put the link in the description of this one. So with that all out of the way, let's go ahead and get started with the prerequisites. Alright guys, so here are some of the prerequisites for everything to work, and with the best results, you need to make sure all of this is set up first. First and foremost, this is designed primarily for Bless 0.18.07 version of the game only, and not any other version. The game needs to be the folder type backup of the game, not the ISO version, not the PSN version, the one that comes in the npub package file or whatever. It needs to be the folder type backup, and that folder should be installed into the internal drive of the PS3, and it should be at this location. So in the dev hdd0 directory, then in the folder called games, all in caps and with an S, not with a Z, and the folder itself needs to be named like this. So if your game is a folder type backup, but the folder is actually named a little bit different than this, just change the name of the folder. It's not going to hurt anything. This is absolutely case and space sensitive, so make sure you get all the spaces correct, all the caps correct, and all that good stuff. Sometimes the PS3, when you are done naming something or typing something or whatever, and you hit the start button, it will add a space. So make sure to double check that there is not a space after the bracket, otherwise the PS3 is going to view it as a different file altogether. Next, make sure once the game is installed that you've installed the latest update, which is 1.27, and then after all that is done, before you install any of these mods, go ahead and test the game, test the single player mode, and then go online. Make sure all of that is working first, because if something goes wrong later on and you didn't test the game, then you don't know if it's an issue, something that you did with the mods incorrectly, or if it's maybe a corrupted or missing file in the game. You're not going to be sure. So this will ensure that the game is working properly, so that if something goes wrong, then it's because you did something wrong with the installation of the mods. All right, let's move on to the next step. Alright guys, so down in the description there'll be a link to 2 zip files. You can download either one you like, or you can try them out both. One is a standard version, which we'll be using here today as the example. The other one is the textured version. The textured version is exactly the same as the standard. The only difference is that 3 of the mod loaders have very heavy texturing in them. If you don't know what that is, just Google PS3 GTA textured mod loaders, and you'll see a bunch of videos here on YouTube about them. The standard version has the same 3 mod loaders, but I removed the texturing. So the mod loaders are there, but none of the textures. So the file is considerably smaller. So pick whichever one you want, extract the folder from the zip, place it on your desktop. Assuming you've set everything up the way we discussed earlier, then what you're going to do is you're going to need to install these files into your PS3. This can be done either via FTP or by using a file manager like I'm doing here with Mana Guns, or you can use Multiman's file manager or something else. All right, so moving on to the next step, what we are going to do then is once you have your folder either on your USB stick or ready to be FTP'd, we are going to go ahead and go to the PS3. All right, so here at the PS3, what we are going to do is we'll navigate to where the game is. Again, that's going to be dev HDD0, then the games folder, and then the actual folder of Grand Theft Auto, which you should have already renamed as we went over earlier. Then go into it, and in yours, it will not have a PS3 extra folder. I've already done all of this, so yours will not have that, but it will have the PS3 game, PS3 update, and the SFB file. All right, so what we're gonna do is once you've extracted that folder from the zip, you will go to the folder in here that says Bless 01807, and then you will copy and paste all three of these over here. And if you're asked if you want to overwrite anything or whatever, of course say yes, and then just wait till everything transfers over. Okay, so once all of that has transferred over, we're going to come back here to the folder that we got from the zip file, and then you're going to go to the folder that's marked number 1, files that go in TMP. So we'll go there, then come over to your PS3, and we are going to go over to our TMP folder. So we're going to back out right to here to the dev HDD0 directory, and if you scroll down a bit, you will see the TMP folder right there. Let's go into it, and then basically all you're going to do is copy all of these files and paste them right into your TMP. Again, if you're asked to overwrite, just go ahead and click yes. Now, once that's done, we're going to come back here, go back out. Now we'll go to the number 2 folder, and that one file that's there, we will go ahead and copy that also to the TMP. Now you might be thinking, why didn't you just put this one file into the number 1 folder? Because the number 1 folder already has a file called keytext, but it's in lowercase. For Windows, it believes that this file has the same name, but in the PS3, you can have a file with the same name, and if there's even one slight difference, like one letter is uppercase, like it is here, and the other one isn't, it will actually look at the files as being 2 different files. So yeah, even though it has one letter that's uppercase, so yeah, go figure. All right, so now once you've done all of that, let's go ahead and head back to the XMB. All right, so now we are back at the PS3's XMB. You can take that folder that you got from the zip file and set it off to the side. We will no longer need that. If you are going to be using Webman to launch, or I should say load the game, what you will need to do is whenever you make changes to a game's file, it's a good idea to come here to PS3 Webman Setup and hit refresh XML so that those files update properly in the XML. So hit refresh XML. The PS3 will take a little bit just to scan everything again, and then it will tell you to reboot. So then go ahead and click on where it says click here to reboot, so that way your system reboots. If, by the way, if you have a newer version of Webman and it does not look like this, somewhere in the area right here, it'll say SMAN GUI. If you unclick it and then scroll all the way down, or uncheck it, scroll all the way down and then click on save and then reboot, when it starts up again, it will look like the classic Webman, which, by the way, I like a lot more than the newer one. All right, so once you've done that, then you can go ahead and come back here. Once you've rebooted, the game should be there, and then you can go ahead, select it, and it should load up, and you will see, or you should see, 2 icons, which will be the Grand Theft Auto icon and then the extras and the mods icon. This will also happen if you load it with like multi-man or mana guns. If you use something like that instead, when you load them and you come back here to the XMB, you should have these two icons there. All right, so I decided to just go ahead and record from the PS3 itself directly. I'm using that software, so I may sound a little bit different. Anyway, once you've loaded up the game, obviously this is where you would launch it from right here, and then this is where the mods are. Now, sometimes because there's so much stuff here, sometimes the background may not pop up. If it doesn't, I mean, that's fine. There we go. Sometimes it might take a little bit. Anyway, this is where this differs a little bit from Hen. I'm making a Hen version of this. This version here is for custom firmware PS3s. So if you have a PS3 that's KEX, make sure you install this eboot. If your PS3 is DeX, then install this one. If you ever convert from KEX over to DeX, then don't forget to come here and install the DeX eboot. For pretty much all of these mods, no matter what you pick from any of the stuff that's here, it will retain it and remember it even after you've turned off your PS3. So if you pick a certain mod loader and a certain mod menu, you could come back a year later and that mod loader and that mod menu will still load up, the last ones you picked. So, and same thing for the backgrounds and anything else. So anything that you pick here will stay there and it will remember it till you pick something else. So these are the eboots. We'll talk about this here in just a minute. If you ever want to make your game look like stock vanilla GTA, all you need to do is install the stock RPF file right here and then install the stock eboot. You can go online and on Rockstar's server, your game will look like vanilla GTA. Of course, you won't be able to mod anything because everything will be back to stock. Even though this might appear, your mods here might appear, the game itself, when you go online, will look like stock. And that applies to Hen as well. When I release a Hen version of this, to get it back to stock, just pick stock eboot, stock RPF. So before we get into the GTA tool, let's talk about some of the stuff here. First, if you scroll through this too fast, you might occasionally see a red box pop up. If you just go down a bit or up and come back to that red box, it should load the image again properly. It's just because there's so much stuff here. So you can use a mod loader and a mod menu at the same time. These mod loaders have various menus, little menus in them, and again, anything you choose here, the PS3 will remember it until you pick something different. Mod loaders are in a modded.rpf file. Mod menus are a sprx file that is somewhere else. You can use a mod loader and a mod menu side by side. I really don't recommend you have them both opened at the same time in the game, but you can open one and then close it and open up the other, so you can use both. And then later on, I'll show you, if you don't want a mod menu to load, then I'll show you how you can just have only, oh see, there's the red box. I'll show you how you can have just only a mod loader opening. Now, mod loaders normally allow you to save and load a game save from single player mode. I recommend before you use any of these menus, whether it's a mod loader or a mod menu, make sure you back up any GTA saves that you have and put them somewhere safe, because these mod menus are meant for online, and so when you're taken to a single player mode, normally you start right at the beginning, like with the bank heist or whatever. And then with mod loaders, normally you can start from, you know, wherever you left off or load a game save. The other thing is that obviously here you can see these menus that are marked for KEX and DeX can be used on either one of the two systems. The ones that say just DeX can only be used on just DeX systems. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just remember that these mod menus normally will start you off if you're playing a single player mode at the beginning with the bank heist. Now down here, you'll see this zombies thing. This is kind of a self-explanatory game. This is only for people who are on decks. When you start up, I think it starts you up at the beginning at the bank heist or from wherever. Anyway, they'll be right in front of you. There'll be like a red marker. You just walk to it, wait about 20 or 30 seconds for the zombie game to load up, and then it's pretty much self-explanatory what you need to do. These are covers which change the icon in the Webman games. So if you come here and come to the PS3 folder and you go there, this is the icon that it changes. All right, let's go back in. All right, and then when we're here, let's go back down a bit. You can also change the background of Rebug Toolbox for those who are using it. These here are backgrounds to the KMZ GTA tool, so you can change the backgrounds of the tool. You have 4 of them there, and then here are the ones for Rebug, and this is to get back to the stock background with stock icons. You'll choose this. This is a little boot up image, so you can change the stock PS3 one to this one here, and then here are some icons you can change, and you can even change the font on the XMB to a GTA type, and then you can put your original back if you want, and that's pretty much all there is to that. So it's pretty, simple and self-explanatory, and you have a lot of choices here. Okay, now let's go over the GTA tool. Here you'll press X and install. If you already have this installed, make sure you go to the XMB first and delete the older version. Once it's completely gone, then come here and install this one. When you press X, it will go ahead and install, and it will then be on your XMB after it's done. So it'll look like this. One thing I need to point out here, just so that you know, the main purpose, there's a couple of things you could do with that GTA tool, but really the main purpose is to change these backgrounds and the music that play. So for example, when you're here, this is the game icon, and this is the background of the game icon and the music that plays. This is the mods icon, and then the background here. So you can change these backgrounds on the game icon or on the mods icon. You can also change what music plays when you hover over either one of the two. So let's go into the GTA tool real quick. All right, so here is the GTA tool. You can see the background here. You can change this by selecting one of the different backgrounds in the mods from the XMB. This is the stock one that I made. When you're here, you can see the #1 install eboots is highlighted in yellow. Those are the same exact eboots that are in the mods over at the XMB, but I just decided to put them in here. If you scroll down with the D-pad, you can highlight different things. Convert blues to bless. I already did that video. I'll put a link in the description. I may actually have to redo it because it's when I had my old system and crappy microphone. So if I do an update, I'll go ahead and link it in the description. Anyway, here's what I was talking about. When you're hovering over the game icon, you can change the background wallpaper of the game icon when you're hovering over it. There's part 1 here and part 2, so you have about a total of 15, 16 or so different wallpapers. And then here is the mods icon, so you can change the wallpaper that displays when you are on the mods icon. And then same thing for the music. You can change the music depending on which icon you selected or you're hovering over or whatever. And that's pretty much the main purpose of this tool. So there's not really a whole lot to it. Let's go ahead and just go back to the XMB and cover some stuff real quick. Okay, and the last thing, guys, the last two things, if you want to play with a mod menu, but you do not want a mod loader to install, you would come here and pick install stock RPF file. Mod loaders are modded RPF files. So if you install this one, no mod loader will install, and then you can just run whatever mod menus or whatever mod menu you want without the mod loader installing. You don't have to worry. I know some people might think, well, if it's stock RPF, does that mean I'm going to get banned or whatever? Because there's no anti-ban protections or anything like that. It's the eboot file that carries those protections. The RPF does not. As a matter of fact, a lot of times when you buy or would buy a paid menu, it doesn't come with a modified RPF, just a modified eboot, and then the Sprix file and maybe the license or whatever. So you can have a modded eboot and then just a regular RPF. So that's what you would do if you want to play with just a mod menu and no mod loader. Now, if you want to flip it and you want to play with a mod loader but no mod menu, then you have to do something a little bit different. Okay, so if you want to use a mod menu, a mod loader, but not a mod menu, then to prevent the mod menu from loading up, all you need to do is come here to the dev hdd0 directory. We're gonna scroll down to the tmp folder, and then you're gonna go here and delete the GTA SPRX file. Now you don't have to worry, it's not gonna be permanently gone. Anytime you load up any other mod menu, the GTA Sprix will automatically come right back, so you're not permanently deleting it. But by deleting it here, it will prevent a mod menu from loading up until you pick another one. So you may want to do that if you just want to play only with a mod loader and you don't want the mod menu to load up. All right, and that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for watching. Sorry this was so long, but I wanted to be detailed, especially since it's the last one. Thank you for watching. You know I appreciate you. Much love going out there to everyone and those who have supported this project since the beginning. I appreciate you watching, guys. You know it's a crazy world out there, man. Take care, have fun, be safe, be careful, and we'll see you on the next one.